About a couple years ago, I was taking the last train back on a Wednesday night, and this guy started sort of following me, and I didn't realize it because I was, I don't know, listening to New Kids on the Block on my iPod or something, which is an acceptable thing to do all the time. So this guy sort of started following me, so I get to my stop, and I'm thinking, I should have like a Metro employee like walk me to my car. I'm in the garage, it's really late, I'm alone. And then the guy who's been following me approaches me and starts a conversation. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll walk into the garage with this guy. What a great idea, right? Like, what was I thinking? Like, oh, okay, I'll walk into the garage with this pervert, so if there's other perverts lurking in the garage, they will know, per the pervert code, I am spoken for. And they will move along. So I'm talking to this guy, and he's kind of asking me, like, what's your name? Do you have a boyfriend? All this stuff. And he keeps going, can I take you out to dinner? I'm going, whatever. So we get into the elevator, and you guys are just going to be like, oh my God, like 400 times in the story. We get into the elevator, and I push my floor first. Oh my God, right? And then I go, what floor are you on? And he goes, same as you. And I was like, what a coincidence. I did not expect you to say that. So we get to the floor and the doors open and there's only 2 cars on that floor, my car and one next to it. And I go, oh, look at that, you parked next to me. And he goes, I didn't drive today. Oh shit, right? And I'm going, oh man, damn it. So I'm like, all right, how am I gonna get out of this? So I grab my keys. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. Oh my God. So we start walking, and I'm like, okay, yep, okay, bye. Like, and I said bye like 400 times, and he was like, well, let me take you out. And I was like, yay, yes, no, I don't know. What's the right answer so you don't murder me? Give me something. And so we get to my car, and he goes, let me get your number. And what did I say? What do we always say when we don't want to give you our number? Ladies, I'll get your... No, I wasn't smart enough to say I have a boyfriend, which is what I should have said way long before now. No, I said, oh, I will take your number, right? Because we're so clever, and we don't think you know what that means, but you do. But don't disillusion us. So I was like, let me take your number. And he goes, no, I'm taking yours. And I was like, shit. Yeah. So I was like, shit. So I found a piece of paper in my purse with like no identifying information. And I wrote my phone number on it because, and here's my reasoning before you go, oh my God, Emily. The reason I did that is because sometimes what happens when you give a guy your phone number? Call you immediately, which is such a classy thing to do. So I was like, if homeboy starts dialing and gets movie phone, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I did what I normally do, which is make a bad, dangerous decision and worry about the consequences at a later date. So I gave him my phone number. And then I'm like, okay, time for me to go. So he goes, well, let me give you a hug. And he moves, so he's blocking my driver's side door. And he goes to hug me, and I put my arms up. And then he backs away, and then he goes, well, let me give you another hug. But he did not hug me. Would you like to know what he did this time? Boob grab. I was boob grabbed. His right hand, my left boob, which is the smaller one, by the way, which wasn't, he should have thought it out better. So he grabs me, and I freaked out, and I like shoved him away, got in the car, and drove away. And I was like, oh my God, like, holy crap. Like, I think I was assaulted. Like, yes, I watch enough Law and Order to know that I was, in fact, assaulted. So I call the cops, and they meet me at the metro station the next day. And they say to me, well, you know, we'll take care of it, have a good one, bye. And then I call to follow up, right? And they send me through to archives, because it's Metro Police, and they are on top of their shit all the time. So they said I was like, archives? It was like 12 hours ago. Like, what are your cold cases? Like, we haven't got this guy in 3 days. This is done. So this is hopeless. Done. So I get a strange phone call, like on a Friday. A couple days. This was a Wednesday, so like 48 hours later, I get a strange phone call. I was like, that's the guy. So I call the police, and I was like, all right, here's his phone number. Go get him. Go get him. And they go, well, that's not really going to work. What we think would be better is if you set up a meeting with him, and then we'll go with you. And when you identify him, we'll arrest him. Do you mean a sting? Yes, some people on television call it that. It is I was like, sure, I will do a police sting. This can't end badly. At all. And even if it does, someone will notify my family. Like, it'll be fine. This will be great. I'm very excited about it. So I was like, sure, I'll be sting bait. Why not? I have nothing else to do on Sunday. Okay. So I go to the metro station at the designated... Well, first, let me back up. I had to set up the sting. They didn't have, like, a sting specialist set it up. Like, I was the sting specialist. That's where your tax dollars are going. I'm solving crimes. You're welcome. You are welcome. So I have to call. He calls me, and I was like, and he was from Egypt, so he had a very thick accent and like scraggly phone. I couldn't hear him, so I was like, yes, we will meet up for our date at the metro station on Sunday at 4:00. And you will be there, and I will be there, and there won't be any cops, and no one's getting arrested. It's not a sting. See you then. See you then. So I go to the metro to meet the cops, and they were undercover, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to identify them because they're undercover. They looked like they went to the undercover cop costume store. It was so ridiculous. I was like, where are they? And I look, standing right at the turnstiles, is a young woman dressed in business attire on a Sunday at 4:00, standing next to like a middle-aged black guy wearing socks with sandals, shorts, a Hawaiian shirt, a bingo visor, and a camera around his neck, reading a newspaper, which surprisingly was missing eye holes, which was the only thing missing from his ensemble, right? Like, so I walk up to them, I was like, hey, cops, and they were like, how did you know? Oh my God. I'm a genius. That's how. So the guy was late to our sting, so rude, wouldn't go out with him again. And the cop was like, do you think he'll show up? And I was like, yeah, definitely. I was great on the phone. Like, he has no idea what's happening. So the dummy shows up, and the cops like start moving. They've got like the cops with me, and then there's like other cops hiding, like temple guards on Legends of the Hidden Temple, like gonna jump out at him. And so he comes walking up, and he was so helpful. He was wearing the same outfit, so it just made it so easy for me, which was very thoughtful, I thought. So he comes up, and I was so like awkward and weird, and I'm standing next to the cop, and I was like, that's him. Go get him. And then so all the cops start moving, so he gets wise and starts like fleeing, so they all go after them, and they prepped me for what to do, but they didn't prep me at all past this point. So I was like, how can I be most helpful? So I ran around in a circle waving my arms around. Like, where do I hide now? Like, oh, ah! So they get him, like, handcuffed. And so then I'm like, oh, shoot. He has to walk by me. Like, I have to hide again, and I'm so bad. I hid behind, like, half a phone booth thing with, like, my legs sticking out. And then I decided the best thing to do was to look out the window and pretend I was a bystander. Like, as he walked by, like I wasn't the same girl who was just like, come get arrested. And I was like, I'm waiting for a train. I look a lot like the other girl, but I'm not her. I have these nose glasses on. I'm a different person. So he walks by, and they get him into the cruiser. And And I was like, so they were like gonna have me like go down to the police station and like fill out paperwork, probably for my honorary police badge, because I was so excellent. So they bring him out, they get him in the cruiser, and then they ask me, and this was at the West Falls Church metro station. For those of you who don't know, the walkway to the parking lot is clear and glass. And I was wearing a bright red dress because I was waving in airplanes after the sting. I wear many hats. So they walk him out past me, and then the cop sort of waves me down to go with her. But halfway down the hallway, she has me stop. And I was like, oh shit, I have to hide again. Like, I'm so bad at this. So I'm in the clear glass hallway wearing a bright red dress, and I had to hide again, which he was handcuffed. There was no reason. She said that to me later. She's like, you walked into a parking garage alone with this man at 1 a.m. There are 6 cops around you with weapons, and you're terrified. Like, you never know. These things go wrong on TV all the time. I don't know. So I'm halfway down the hallway, and she goes, well, hang back. So I did. So I hid, which looked like this. And I stepped up against the wall and just like put my hands like this. Like, don't mind me, I'm a cave painting. It's okay, he can't see me. His vision is based on movement, because he's a Tyrannosaurus. It's gonna be fun. Are you guys ready to get the show started?